When it comes to Komi Can't Communicate, I've been covering this anime on the channel for a long time now, ever since the first season. And one of the things that I've always praised Komi for is the fact that it does something extremely unique in anime. It breaks up each episode into individual chapters, much like when you're reading a manga, it goes from chapter to chapter. And it does it very elegantly and it does it very enjoyably. Now, the downside of that is not each chapter is created equal. Some are going to be more enjoyable than others, but the good thing about it is that you have 23 minutes and usually 3 or 4 chapters, sometimes less, but maybe worst case 2, but you have a few chapters in each episode. So if one of the chapters wasn't necessarily the best or enjoyable, you have another 1, 2, or maybe even 3 chapters within that episode to really kind of stand out. So it makes kind of that 5-minute gap, 3 to 5 minute gap in the episode less kind of weighing on your mind when you're thinking about the episode holistically, and even less when you're binge watching episode after episode. That's one of the things to where it makes Komi stand out. The reason I'm saying that is this episode, which this episode was episode number, I think number 9. So season 2, episode number 9, which is this episode here, which is the continuation of the field trip. And this one focused on Komi specifically and the 2 girls that were assigned to her to kind of be her field trip buddies, I guess you could say. And this episode, I think from literally beginning to absolute end was just absolutely like one of the most enjoyable episodes that I've had, just like from literally from the moment the episode started to the moment that the episode ended with Komi and TADANO at the end. Like, this episode, I felt like brought everything together, and it was so enjoyable, and I thought it was one of the funnier episodes of the season as well, too. So this episode definitely focused on, again, like I said, Komi and her 2 classmates, which are now her 2 new friends, so she only has 79 friends left to make. But she was basically spent a day with them, and thankfully one of the 2 girls had an itinerary, and she made the itinerary to essentially kind of plan out their day because they didn't really know what to do. And they went like absolutely everywhere. I mean, they went, they went to eat, they went to like a Universal Studios, they went to like Harry Potter's house, they saw Spider-Man at Universal Studios, they got to ride the train, they got to eat takoyaki together. And then they ended their day out at one of the movie sets, that they cover, that they do a lot of historical Japanese TV shows at. And during that, Komi ends up dressing up like a geisha, and one of the actors there always end up choosing like one person, one visitor to essentially act out their scenes with, being like shinobi and stuff. And because she was like dressed up as a geisha, she ended up being a very easy target. And one of the 2 girls that ended up traveling along with her, and I'm gonna keep saying the 2 girls because I don't remember what these girls' names were. Like they showed up for the first time last episode, and then this episode I don't remember. But one of the 2 girls, one was a shogi player, and one apparently was a yo-yo master. And she didn't realize that this was just like an act or like a play. So she actually goes to save Komi. And she does like the super yo-yo stuff. She puts on like a demon mask or whatever. What are the masks called? Something with the O. You guys will know. You tell me in the comments. But she puts on like this demon mask as she goes with the yo-yos, and like the shinobi guys are like, "Oh, she's super dangerous, we need to go away." And they run away, and like I was dying during this scene, by the way. Then they have all of that, and she goes and she runs away, then she comes back to them and she pretends like it wasn't her, and then they end up returning to their room for the night. And then that's when the talks happen, which is the romantic talks happen after they decide, after they talked about the girl that the shogi player tried to out her for being the yo-yo master, and she was playing like 4D chess with this poor girl's mental over here, and she finally comes out and says, "F it, I'm the yo-yo master." And it's the anime cuts to, it's like, oh, and that's the day that the world class yo-yo master started. And I laughed my ass out during that moment too. Then it transitioned to what I was about to say, which is the romantic talks, and we find out that the shogi girl is interested and attracted to Katai, which is the big burly dude who kind of likes Tadano, who's very soft spoken, but and I was like, wow, she really likes that guy. And the other girl didn't end up liking anybody, and then they ended up pressuring Komi into saying who she likes. And the funny part is, like, Komi was like, well, what does even liking somebody even mean? And they're like, what, really? And once they finally describe to her what the feelings are and stuff, she's like, holy crap, like, okay, I get it now. And then they pressure her into writing down, like, the last name. She writes down the letter H, to signal Mr. Tadano. And they're like, yeah, predictable. Then we're finally on the way home, and then they make her sit down. She falls asleep on the train, and one of the girls is like, the yo-yo girl. So they conspire, and they have Tadano go and sit there. Then there's a really cute scene that happens, and they make the shogi girl sit down with Katai. But overall, this episode was absolutely enjoyable. It was hilarious. It was amazing. And I thought every single thing that it went for, it absolutely nailed, and it absolutely hit. And this was, to me, one of the better episodes of Season 2 so far. I think for Season 2, there's been like 3 standout episodes. This has definitely been one of them so far. And I really, 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 really loved this episode quite a bit. I thought it was cute. It was intrinsic. It was very laughable. It was hilarious. I thought it hit a lot of things that I really love about Komi Can't Communicate. And then it tied it up in an emotional bow, with Tadano and Komi sharing a very special moment with each other. So, of course, as always, guys, I'm going to leave you guys on that note. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I should have said this at the beginning. I need to get better at this, but only like 5% of you guys who watch these videos are subscribed. So if you guys aren't and you're watching this and you made it to this part of the video, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. It really helped me out. Really trying to grow over here on the anime channel. So make sure you guys do that. And leave me some comments down below on what you guys thought about this episode. What was your favorite part? And what was the thing that stood out to you about this episode of Komi Can't Communicate? And of course, as always, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 10, whenever that launches. I'm super reliant on fan subs right now, so sometimes it's Wednesdays, sometimes it's Thursdays, sometimes it's even Fridays. So just next week, I'll see you guys next week. All right, my friends, see you then.